Hey, Scott Russell. I recently shared a video showing homelessness in America, and one of the things that was interesting in the video was when you look in the background, there's cars like Escalades, which I don't know, something like $80,000, say, in the US, parked on the side of the road, stripped. And it's an interesting dynamic, and it set me thinking. I think we're going to see a lot more of this sort of thing go on because people are upside down in their debts and they can't get out. So you go back to the finance company and hand your car back, you're going to still have to pay. You're going to have penalties and it's not going to be easy for you. So to try to sell it when you've got so much owed on it, you're not going to be able to sell it. People are in lease agreements, and to get out of those lease agreements, there's significant penalties, or if you can't get out even. And so what are the options? And I think what we're seeing is, it's funny, my father said to me today, it's on the news that somebody had a McLaren, a $300,000 McLaren, and they parked it outside of their house and somebody burned it. And I said, Dad, it's an insurance job. Who parks a McLaren on the street outside their house? And a masked man came and stuffed cardboard up under it and lit the thing up. And I think what we're going to see here is a lot of desperate people that do desperate things. And as people are trying to make payments, trying to stay in front of things, and it's not very easy, I think we're going to start to see great opportunities for those that are that way inclined. I remember I shared a video a while back from Venezuela where he said, the people that are able to wheel and deal, the people that are able to do things on the fly is going to survive. And if we're locked in and we think things have to be one particular way, then you're going to have a bit of grief. So I think what we're going to see is the high-end cars first. I know when I ran food pantries in the US, a lot of the food we got was the high-end food. It was, the top-cut meats and smoked salmon and this sort of stuff, because people often couldn't afford that sort of thing, and so they would that's the first thing to go, is the high end. And so the first thing that's going to go here, we're going to see, are the high end cars and high end boats and high end things that people are trying to live beyond their means, trying to be artificial in what they are, and those things are going to go. Now, granted, that's for some people. I know folks that wheel and deal and things like that, and it's great opportunities. And some great deals have been coming down the pipeline for them. But I think we're going to see a lot of people go and park their car out in the bush somewhere, come back later, burn it or whatever, and then report it stolen, and to try to get out from underneath it, collect the insurance. And the insurance aren't stupid. It's a dangerous game to play and not a good one to play. But I think, as I said, desperate people do desperate things, desperate times take desperate measures. So we see that I think we're going to see a lot of these sort of things. Depression is going to be on the rise. A lot of people not knowing what to do, losing their status that have been so focused on what they've got instead of who they are in themselves, and their identity has been wrapped up in things and the things of this world. And like I keep saying, there really is no answer. People are looking for an answer, but normal has gone away. And if you're not a survivor, you won't adapt. You have to be somebody that changes your mindset. For me, allows the spirit to bring freedom and life, and understands how to follow the peace. And, people are so accustomed to comfort, so accustomed to misery, so accustomed to staying what they are and where they are, with all the wrong people doing all the wrong things in all the wrong places, because it takes effort to change. And it seems like, it's so unsure and it's insecure, so I'm just going to stay here. I'll stay busy in life. I'll keep busy. I'll keep doing the things I need to do, and then I don't have to think about this because it'll sort itself out. Friend, no, it won't. You need to take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for where you're going. Take responsibility in yourself first. And as you position yourself spiritually in a good place, you're going to be able to help those around you. And I'm touched by people that are giving feedback here of saying, I've been standing up and people have been ignoring me, but now they're starting to see it. Friend, you're a light in a dark place. God doesn't put lights with lights. He put lights in a dark place. And if freedom has come alive in you, and it's from a Holy Spirit, not saying that you are where you need to be with that, but not saying you're not either. But it's a personal journey. And don't ever think that you're alone. Don't ever think that others can't, that others can't get it, because they will. They're watching you. They're watching the spirit that's in you. The spirit's not taught, it's caught. Did you get that? The spirit is not taught, it's caught. If you can teach the spirit, you don't have it. If you can teach someone how to be free, you don't have it. You're giving them a head knowledge, and in a head knowledge, they will revert back to not being free. I've had some people around my life that I've walked away from because what did I do? I've given a deposit of the spirit and then had to pull back and think, well, you know what? If this is true, if life has touched them, then they need space to process this. They need space to find where it is for themselves. And then they need to walk into that for themselves, because they can't ride on my back, but we can co-join once they flow in the spirit. And the relationships that romantic and other is a co-joining of people of like spirit that are saying, you know what, I am free. Freedom's not what I do, it's who I am. So let freedom be who you are. And for me, that comes from a surrendering of my life, the surrendering of my control, the surrendering of the understanding to God himself. To me, that was through Jesus. And I just encourage you, take that step. That's not telling you to go to organised church. A lot of organised churches know better than the system. But church is people. Church is not the systems that we see forced down us that really, if we're honest, we're all offended at. So, but we're not offended with people. People of like spirit. Find that spiritual community of people. Treasure it, flow with it, swallow your pride and go with it. Sometimes you just got to wait and hope that the people at the other end make the choices and the decisions they need to make to reach out and see the value of what you are to their lives. So God bless you, stay strong, and I think we're going to start to see some a lot of these things like I've talked about on here starting to happen. So